10th of June episode of my fantabulous live stream. I hope everyone's doing great. Or as I'm supposed to start with, welcome to the BB&B live stream where we got beverages, we got blades, and we do like to discuss the bushcrafty things upon occasion. My phone just told me that I'm live streaming. Good to know. What should we do first? First, let's see if I can do this. This is a Rus by Microbrasserie Alchemist, which was, I guess, Alchemist craft brewery. Cody had her band concert at school tonight. So last night she was practicing and pulled out my bass amp and did not put it back. So yeah, this is a Rus. Don't turn me down, Rus. God. What's a Rus in English? Is it a red or is it a brown? Anyways, it's like an Irish style Rus, I guess. What does it say? It's an amber malted amber. It's a malted amber, putting forward notes of caramel, roasted, I guess toasted caramel, balanced by a very light bitterness. Oats, adding Lavoine oats to the brewing brings an enveloping texture. I'm translating and okay. So I'm going to back away from the keyboard. Directly onto the keyboard. I'm going to go back to not doing beer. I have all this beer because I had La Visite. I had people in town, and I have leftover beer. Like, I don't even buy beer anymore. Directly on the keyboard. Great. So it looks darker on screen than it does here, but malty, sweet, butterscotchy or caramelly. It is what it says on the tin. That's for sure. I just hit the skip to the next video instead of the mute on my live stream. So let's see who's kicking. Oh, housekeeping. If you're listening to us time shifted, please know that I love that about you. You're magic, and I love seeing the comments pop up and knowing that people are interacting with the stuff, even though they cannot interact here when it's go time. Just let me check how much of my watch is left. 17%. I will plug this in while we're chitting and chatting because I'm sitting on my arse and getting fat anyway. So there ain't no exercise to keep track of. Little cinema verite for you people here. Completely unvarnished. Spilling beer, throwing the amp around, whipping off my watch. There we go. So shall we see who's here? If at any point tonight you really love what's happening, I would invite you to hit the smiley thumb. If at any point tonight you really hate what's going on, that's all right. Frowny thumb works just as well. And if you'd like to take a more active role in keeping the light on around here, I invite you to check out that join button. Give it a right click, open it in a new tab, give it a look, see what's available to you on either of the 2 tiers of membership, and feel free to support me. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. Okay. Okay. So let's see who's kicking back with us at first. Peanut Trucker popped in at 5:37, which was 9 minutes after I put this thing up. So Peanut Trucker was absolutely first today. Peanut Trucker is pretty good about show on stream about getting the jump on the chat like as soon as I hit the post button. Number 2 tonight was Off Grid Recon. Nice to see you. How you doing tonight, Recon? By the way, Peanut Trucker is a channel mod, so be nice. Or get the Roadhammer dropped upon the. David Evans is number 3 tonight, and he is both a channel hero and a channel mod. So we got the mod squad in the house. They're not the only mod squad members here, I've already seen. 5.5%. 473 mil. Yeah, 473 mil. Straight up Canadian craft beer. Mark Davidson, number 4 again. Number 4 is the most heartbreaking spot to land, isn't it? Better than everyone else, just not good enough for a medal. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, Mark Davidson is a channel hero, by the way. Okay. Country Boy says, and Country Boy is both a channel mod and a channel hero. So as I said, we got the mod squad in tonight. Had nothing to do while waiting an extra half hour, but drink. So my typing should be really bad tonight. Hello to those that are here. All right, Country Boy is partying early. He did the pre-partying, the pre-drinking, was it? I hope your tomorrow is fine, Country Boy. Just boom, boom. Country Boy is asking Peanut Trucker where he is on this evening. And Destiny in the house saying hi to everyone except me. There it is. And of course, bonjour, Jess. Nice. She's a special one just for me. Special. I am so special. I'm just going to check the chat on the YouTube page. On the page of YouTubeage. I want to pop this chat out because it's easier for me to interact with that way. So just give me a second to be completely unpro here. Popping out the Chitty McChat. Making it nice and long. There we go. So where were we? Where the hell were we? Destiny. Yes, Destiny is a channel hero, by the way, right now. Excuse me. Mark asks, why does it say 19th of June? I don't know. Does it? Yeah, it does. That was just a typo. Knowing where all the typos are coming from doesn't make them any less infuriating. That's for damn sure. Christy in the house, how you doing? How is it down in Arizona tonight? We have to get our pool fixed, so it's happening at like sometime in July. Camille is highly irate about it, but it was like the only time they had to come. Peanut Truckers on the West Coast, Bakersfield, California tonight. Trying it up in Phoenix this weekend so you can take Kristen and Steve out. Bakersfield is a city mentioned in the lore of the Fallout series, TV series and game series. Just throwing that boring stuff out. Everyone saying hi. Mark Davidson. How's Mark Davidson tonight? Just popping you back in because I feel that I hadn't sort of mentioned you yet. Well, actually, I did say hi to you, didn't I? I did. So I'll just, not to not to put you on the spot or anything. Christy is available maybe Friday, but celebrating Father's Day on Saturday. Oh no, Father's Day's on Saturday. Peanut Trucker thinks our yard is close to you. I'll message you the address, but camping is more important. Camping is definitely important, as Country Boy does say. Country Boy, wow, look at all them thumbs. Country Boy is reminding all people all over the world to hit that thumbs up. Hi, with Mike popping in. How you doing, Mike? How are things down there tonight? Is it stankin' hot? Today was rain. We had this wicked squall today. Like just chucking it down with rain. But like it was still like around 24 degrees, so the rain didn't cool the day off, of course. Of course. I actually hit the mute button in time for once. I'm just gonna be 11 degrees Fahrenheit. No, 111. So that's in the 40s. Yeah, nope. No. Heckler Mike says Bakersfield has also mentioned a lot of country music songs. That part I would not know about. Grace popping in, saying hi to all of us. How you doing, Grace? How's the weather where you are tonight? Russell popping in as well. How late am I on this side chat? What time did Russ? 9:46. Oh, I'm catching up. That's good. That's nice enough. Country Boy says it was 94 here on Sunday. Too damn hot for my Canadian ass. I have no idea what 94 is. Probably like in the 30s. But it's a dry heat. Christy says Father's Day is Sunday, but we're just celebrating on Saturday. I didn't even know it was coming this week. It's a day that I never know is coming until it's suddenly surprising me. Jim, SV Raven Flintlock says, Audi starting my 30-minute drive home from work. Drive safe. Thanks for listening in on your drive. Everyone's saying hi, so I'm just going to skip. Mark is asking Christy if they're camping in 111 degrees Fahrenheit. I guess she is. Oh, so Hike with Mike says that it is officially hurricane season down where he is in Florida. So I guess stay safe. Good luck. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that because they're just getting worse. Oh, I see. Christy says she's heading up north to get out of that heat. I have been unmuted, apparently. Yeah, 32 is too hot for me, too. I don't like it. Peanut Trucker just doesn't listen to country music? What? I listen to Celtic music. I mean, country is... yeah, that's from Blues Brothers. Ooh. We like both kinds of music here, country and Western. There was a time, by the way, when country and Western were two different categories of music, which is why it's now called country and Western. Oh, yeah, I like some Johnny Cash. We do 2 Johnny Cash songs in my band because you kind of have to, right? I mean, all acoustic. I hate that pronunciation. All acoustic bands do, at least one Johnny Cash, I think. Roots music. Hike with Mike. Yeah, it's from Blues Brothers when they're playing the country bar behind the chicken wire fence, the chicken wire screen. Uh, Russell will be pleased to know that I had a Subway sandwich for supper tonight, a 12-inch, which was a mistake. They have a spicy chicken. I'm not supposed to eat spice anymore, or drink tea, or have citrus or vinegars. Life is life. I should dust this thing. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. But making a lot of noise on you guys. Sorry. I'm just sitting here talking, then squirrel. You know what I'm saying? Russell says, "Why can I not drink tea anymore?" Okay, so I and it's a post-nasal drip thing, and it's related to his citrus and vinegars and spice and fizzy drinks. So all the good stuff. Or like tea or coffee, right? I mean, in my case, it's tea because that's what I drink, but caffeine promotes histamines. Beto is in the house and he's saying hi, and I'm saying hi back. How you doing? Beto, by the way, is a channel hero. Just thought I'd throw that out there. So yeah, Russell, that's why. And he suggested that I get an air filter. I'm like, an air filter sounds expensive. Anyway, everything's in stages. Country Boy is going to pour his Elijah small batch tonight. Still trying to wrap your taste buds around the reed dough. Yeah, so you're saying it's not a very bourbony whiskey. That's good to know because I was going to order it as a bourbon replacement. The Bridgeland Tabor Corn Bourbon is convincingly. It is an absolute bourbon, just not from the region. So you might want to think about that. The shipping charge to you will be a lot less than it is to me. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. Uh-oh. Yes, I'm getting buffering. Hold on. I know why. I'm going to keep buffering. Tell me if it keeps buffering. It looks it looks better to me on my YouTube page right now. But what do you guys? Is it better? It looks better to me now. It's because I forgot to turn off the Wi-Fi. When I have the Wi-Fi on my computer, it goes through Wi-Fi. I kind of wish it would automatic. Like I wish I could set it so that YouTube and assorted things automatically go to Ethernet, and I leave the Wi-Fi open so that I can do things like AirDrop and all that stuff. But anyway, whatever. I've turned off the Wi-Fi, so there we is. Country Boy says the Rito tastes like rye. It's not bad, but it's not what I was expecting from the mash bill. It might just be spicy because it's young and in like a new oak or something. I mean, I'd still like to try it one day, but when I do get my Alberta whiskeys, if you want, I can send you a sample bottle of the Bridgeland, but put a drop of water in it because it's like 66%. And a couple of friends and I send each other little sample bottles all the time, so I don't mind doing it. Just checking the time here, peoples, because we're coming up on 10 o'clock. Question. Oh, actually, it should be this. I was going to say Lindors or Kilchoman. The Kilchoman is the Quebec exclusive cask. But yeah, I got to start bottling that down, or it's just gonna die on me. So how many thumbs ups do I have, by the way? Let me just reload my YouTube page and hope it doesn't bugger everything sideways. 12 thumbs ups for 14 people watching. That's actually not bad. That's a pretty good, you know. Country Boy says, I am more than happy to find some Canadian hooch that tastes like bourbon. Yep. Yep. I still want to try out the BRBN one, the bourbon, the one by Okanagan Distilling. I now see 13 thumbs ups, Destiny. I'm trying to get comfy here. Just give me a second. There we go. Better. So yeah, like I don't have anything to really talk about tonight. I was gonna sort of ping Russell and say, do you want to do cabins? But I mean, I got home late. I got on late. Oh, are you going to Vernon soon? It's good to know. If you can get me, if you can pick up a bottle of the bourbon, or I think it's called the black bourbon, is the cask strength. Just tell me how much it costs, and I'll send you the money. I mean, unless they have samples, tinies, in which case that's fine too. So I played a one-off gig this weekend, and went well. New fiddler. I'd never met her before stepping on stage. Very good. I just wish like some of you guys lived here so I could say, come and see us tonight. But whatevs. Oh, cool thing. Is Russell still here? Have you ever played Skyrim, Russell? Has anyone here played Skyrim? Because at this band show we were at, the Secondary 2 band played the Dragonborn theme from Skyrim, sort of a concert band arrangement, and it was so damn good. It was so damn good. Yeah, Russell, it's just because sometimes you surprise me by the games that you haven't played. I mean, like the games we played don't mesh exactly. Like there's overlap, there's huge overlap because you've got pretty damn good taste in games, but it doesn't completely overlap. And every now and again, I just assume everyone's played Skyrim, and then someone says, "No, I never played that." That's like what, 10, 20 years old now. I'm like, yeah, but it's still great. Because when they played the Dragonborn theme, I thought of you, Russell. I was like, oh, I wish Russell could hear this. Because, you played music and games. So good. Oh, we're at 10 o'clock. I will pour the whiskey, but I will wait until I finish the beer before drinking the whiskey. Oh, so actually, it doesn't have an age statement on it, but the cask was filled in 2014 and it was bottled in 2022. So why didn't they just put the damn age statement on it? Whatevs. So this is a Calvados cask finished whiskey. Just pouring a small dram. 50 parts per million of peat, 56.4% alcohol by volume. Calvados finished single cask. There's the filling date and the bottling date there. There's the cask number. 700 ml, so it's a European size. And I believe that this is an integrity bottling. I believe, yes, non-chill filtered and natural color. Okay. So I should hurry up and finish this beer so I can get to the whiskey. There's nothing wrong with the beer. They have a 375 ml of the black bourbon. Sweet. That sounds magic to me. Sounds magic to me. Because a 375 is an excellent way to try a new whiskey for sure. Because sometimes like a 700 or a 750 or whatever, it's like it's $100. You know. One thing I do fairly often, if there's something I'm curious about, is if they have it at a local bar, I'll buy a dram just to taste it, which I did this weekend. It was a $25 dram, but it does tell me that the whiskey in the bottle, it was a Balmore. Was it the Balmore? I think so. 15. It had the 12 before. Quite liked it. 15 is very good, but it's a hell of an upcharge. So I don't think I'll buy the bottle because it was good, but not that great. So I've been trying to book camping for me or for me and the family, but you really have to get on it in October in this province for sure, and especially because nobody's going south this year. So like the camp, even the non-CIPAC or national parks campsites are just gone. So it's another wasted year. Oh yeah, I see what Russell just posted. Solid music in that game, like both like the themes, the diegetic and the non-diegetic music, you know. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. There's a game, the name of which escapes me. It's like a survival sim game. Well, now it's also got like a story mode and everything. What the hell was it called? The Long Dark, I think. It's about you're riding a plane somewhere above. I think it's supposed to be northern British Columbia or something. Plane crash, and you have to survive, and you have to get places. And I kickstarted it. Like I followed, I supported it on Kickstarter, and I've got it installed on my Windows on my Windows machine, but I haven't played more than like an hour of it because my library of games that I haven't played is so large. I mean, I'm at the point where like a new game comes out, I'm like, yeah, I want it. Except I have like 5 games, like 5 AAA games just waiting to be, installed. Like they're in my library, my Steam library or whatever, and I haven't even installed them yet. I'm tired, guys. I'm having a really rough month. I've been working late every night. I'm tired. But hey, I'm just a hero. David? Yeah, there's some trouble scheduling that, it seems, because for me, that weekend from October to September is the ideal. And Russell seems to always have people over that weekend, which I would as well. Who the hell wouldn't want to visit a place like that on that weekend or that week? Gorgeous. No flies, but like it hasn't, everything hasn't fallen to the ground and turned the whole landscape gray yet. Fall is absolutely in my top 4 seasons for sure. Just kidding. I love fall. I get excited for fall, and I don't get excited about anything. But when I smell fall in the air, and it's funny because I used to dread fall because I used to go to school, right? And I still have that residual feeling of dread when September is rolling around, even though for me, there's no difference. I'm not losing a summer vacation anymore, But I still get that twinge of dread when I know that September's coming. But then, hiking or whatever in the orange and the red and the yellow, and just the light is magical, especially in an aspen or a poplar strand, right? Where the leaves have all gone golden on a sunny day. It just turns the whole air. It's like you're in elven lands in Lord of the Rings or something. It's just lovely. It's just lovely. Um, the cheese tax. There's a Jesse cheese tax too. I can share with the girls. Country boy agrees with me. Yep, absolutely, love it. David Evans is reminding us that autumn is so. In Canada, the old guard speaks a slightly more British form of English than the youngins do, and I know with my grandparents it was always autumn. Destiny says, "Cool, no bugs, lovely colors. Autumn is best, then winter." I've come to love winter as well. A, because of snowshoes, and B, because of children. Um, but I never used to like winter. I never did any of the winter sports. Although when I was a kid, I used to love cross country skiing, and part of me really wants to get back into that. It's just that's an outlay of money that I'd rather spend on like a hot tent. But outfitting the family with cross country skis might be worth it. And we're just hemorrhaging money though right now. But yeah. Um Christy says, fall is my favorite time of year. This year will be green. By me, I will be in North Carolina for a week. It is green by you. Uh, um Fall really makes me pine for the outdoors in a big, big way. There are certain things that make me kind of pine for the outdoors. Fall, stem to stern, almost. Except when it's just the damp gray, I'm like meh. But just that early part, early to right up until that first week of October. Um, Summertime, like a light rain, makes me wish I was in a tent or on the deck of a off grid cabin, just watching the rain. Um, there's a lot of winter stuff that makes me kind of wish I was out there as well. Uh, I have all these bird feeders, as you people know, and the squirrels seem to be leaving them alone now that I've got this cayenne infused chicken feed. No, bird feed, bird seed. Oh, for land's sakes, bird food. Sorry, I'm glitching, but you know what I'm talking about. Uh, I sort of, I love watching those birds. It's like a little piece of the outdoors just in my backyard. Christy says they don't lose leaves until November, December. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you don't get a whole lot of white Christmases down there. Destiny says, "It was so hot today at our local big box store that even the mosquitoes are moving slow. No AC turned on until after 3 p.m. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? They're just hating? They're just hating?" Oh, Destiny got an advert. I don't have an advert. I'm just waiting for the ad to be over. Somebody tell me when you're ad free. Actually, for those of you who are using YouTube Premium or whatever, I briefly signed up for Premium because I was trying to download full resolution version of a video. It wasn't giving me what I wanted, so I canceled it. But what I did discover is that if you really dig in YouTube, you can download, unfortunately, not a video at a time, but you can download your entire archive. It takes between a few hours and a few days. But then you get a link saying your archive is ready for download, and you can download the whole thing in full resolution, which is great. I shudder to think how long it would take to download my entire archive um, since 2013. That would take a long freaking time. I really wish I'd trimmed before coming on. I'm just like, I'm not as beautiful as usual. Um, David Evans says, "Our loons are talking tonight." I haven't heard a loon in a minute, man. Such a cool sound. Loon is one of those birds that we just sort of think of as Canadiana, like no one else gets them. There are loons in the States. But like a lot of us like associate the sound of the loon with like a Canadian lake. Just getting rid of the beer can so that I can start on this. Slightly smoky. That's the 50 parts per million. Country Boy says, "Nothing better than sitting by a fire, a lake, and hearing the loons calling." Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, or lake. I figured that was a typo. Like, not like I know anything about typos. Shawnee is in the house. How you doing, Shawnee? How's the growing going? I'm so far behind on everyone's videos right now because I've been working until like midnight most nights, or doing like governing board stuff or whatever. Hey, by the way, last night was the last governing board meetings of the year, so I am now free. I just have some more paperwork to do, and there's a volunteer luncheon at some point. I think it might be tomorrow. But yeah, it's good to have that stress behind me. And um yeah, I've told you guys before that I've got this really crazy social anxiety, like debilitating as funk. That I'm perfectly okay talking to a camera, but if I was sitting like in a group of y'all, first of all, I wouldn't be able to hear anything because I just get this whole wall of sound and I get overwhelmed. But I'm just really awkward socially. And I don't remember why I'm talking about this. It had to do with something. Oh yeah. So it's really nice to not be running meetings for the summer. I mean, I'm very open about, my social anxiety, um, and especially now that I know that it's due to this weird fucked up version of ADHD that I've got. It's kind of liberating to know why it's happening, actually. Um, but it's still really, really good not to have a meeting coming up next month that I know I have to be like on for. Shawnee has poppies and blooms, peonies in bloom, and some poppies. Spent a calming day in the woods to get away from our wild world. Planted the first set of plants around the deck. Fava broad beans are in. Nice. Very nice. I like that. We finally did most of our planting this weekend. The garden's still not done though. We still have several bags of earth to throw in it because what we did was we dug out. I think I had told you, Shawnee. If you don't remember, that's okay because it was ages ago, eons. That the garden, that the earth in the garden glitch is very clayey. So like carrots, forget about it, and all that. So what we did was we actually dug the whole damn thing out this year. It started at the end of the last year, but ran out of time. So finished digging it out this year. And we're filling it with, like, we bought some topsoil. Well, first I laid down, some garden waste, like some leaves in the bottom, then put earth on top of that. We're not finished yet. We gotta get some stuff in. I don't have much hope for our garden this year, but it's going to be worth it because we've revamped the earth content of the garden, so things can only get better from here on in. Can only get better, Anyway. Boom, boom, boom. Destiny watched a TVO program about Muskoka. Yeah, Muskoka is a very special. Granted, it's expensive as funk to buy there, though, right? It's because it's very upper crust cottage country these days. But yeah, trivia time. Who here knows the difference between a Muskoka chair and an Adirondack chair? Actually, there are a couple of differences, but the most noticeable difference that isn't kind of pedantic. Does anyone know? Yeah, no more meetings. Waiting on your perennials package to get here. What are you gonna plant? What are the perennials? Destiny also wants to know what kind of perennials. Uh, Food growing kinds. Interesting. I'm gonna want to know all about that. Plenty of time to plant. Yeah, but I mean, the optimal planting weekend in this zone is the one of like the Victoria Day weekend. So like May 20th, 21st, 18th, whenever it happens around there. That wherever that happens on any given year. David Evans says there are 2 cottages for sale on our lake, reasonably priced at around $800K. That's more than my house cost. You're in zone 5A, and we can plant in July and August for fall garden. Oh, I think we might be in the same region, actually. But I don't know where my gardening book is. Hold on. This is the small version of that gardening book I did. And I believe it's got, yeah. So, no, I'm in 6A. No, am I in 6? No, I'm not in 6A. I'm in 5A. So I'm also in 5A. Is that going to actually focus? Did that focus? So, okay. So if you, so I will try to match your schedule then. They include free loon sounds. Worth it. Worth it at twice the price. Lightly peaty. Sweet caramelly. There's a grapey kind of winey. Oh, it's a Calvados cask, of course. Very nice. Almost a dessert-like thing. Nutty, like a marzipan or halva. Even though halva is sesame based. Raspberry Rock planted a blueberry plant today. Pretty big one. Already has blueberries growing on it. We've tried to plant a blueberry plant. I don't know what happened to it. It just sort of disappeared. Should try again. We have raspberries. Destiny, yes, she's 5A as well. Yeah. So she says, she right. She right. The thing is, for several years now, I've gone from being all peat all the time to peat is my wintertime whiskey, and my warm weather whiskey is something non-peated, more on the floral or sweet or whatever side. Yeah, I daydream of having a cabin in the woods on a lake or a beaver pond. I'd never actually thought about a beaver pond before. I'd always just thought of like lake or a river. But it's it's funny because when I'm daydreaming about it, I'm daydreaming about like I see everything cinematically, right? Like cutaway shots of a wind chime, and then you cut to the action kind of thing. When I daydream about cabins, it's all in cutaway B-roll, you know, rain falling out over there. You can kind of hear the small drops landing on the wooden or metal roof, and like drops coming dripping off of the edge of the roof. I guess little vignettes that I can see, you know, lighting the fire in the morning, putting a pot on to boil. Then you look up and out the window to the landscape beyond, kind of thing. The way a cabin room looks when you have like one of those glass fronted wood burning stoves or a fireplace, and you've turned off all the lights or extinguished all the candles and lanterns or whatever, and it's just that one light. I can never go directly to bed when in that situation. I always have to sit and just watch the fire for a while. Enjoy the quality of the light, because I mean it's not good enough for reading by, it's not good enough for anything, but it's good enough to just sit there and enjoy. It sort of goes back to what I say about how I always feel that the heat from like a baseboard heater or whatever is static kind of, but whereas the heat from a stove or a fireplace, it kind of moves and ripples a little bit. Like you can feel the heat coming and there's motion to it. It's not huge motion, but you can kind of feel, or maybe it's psychosomatic, right? I don't trust my brain anymore. But it feels like the heat coming off of a wood burning stove or a fireplace. It feels more organic and like it pulsates or something, you know? Carol, how you doing, Carol? How's the weather where you are tonight? And how's your life? How are things? How's things? Jim got an ad. I didn't see an ad. I don't get it. But yeah, so I daydream about that a lot, you know? Hmm. My daughter just called me. Why? I don't know. So that's not showing up in the side chat on my screen just yet. There it is. Would love to live in an off-grid area with a wood fire and candles just to see what it would feel like in comparison to living on the grid, so to speak. Oh, hold on. David's out. Good night, David. Sleep well. See you next week, I hope. I'll just pop that back up for a second. You absolutely give up the mod cons for a lifestyle like that. You really do. Especially if, it's not all like solar and stuff, but it's straight up like primitive, right? Where all your light is either lanterns or candles. Your only heat is the wood burning stove, and you don't have like internet or TV or anything, right? There's a poetry to living that close to the land, but you do give up some mod cons. I love the idea of heating with a wood burning stove. Even better. Oh, those wood burning kitchen ranges that I've spoken about so often, right? Those huge um, stoves and ovens that use wood instead of electricity, and they all look so damned like, I don't know, Mennonite. Uh, the idea of cooking and living that way gives me the fizz, but I do acknowledge that sometimes you just want to throw a light on. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how, how long would it take for me to miss being able to pad into the kitchen, pop on the light, and grab something from the fridge, or like throw something in the popcorn in the microwave or something? You know, how long would that take? Um, Let me go back. Uh, you're a dreamer, Jess. Nothing wrong with that. Dreamer, nothing but a dreamer. Oh, I got one of my videos, one of my live streams claimed recently, and it was one of the ones where Russell was covering for me. He has like a song by someone like at the beginning of it, and it got claimed. I didn't know. I didn't get. Yeah, it got claimed, but I went to her website and she's really collaborative about it. She like just put a credit, put the full song credit in your description, and we're good. So I'm gonna do that. Like, I don't know, when I have a moment tomorrow or something. But it was just so weird to have a live stream claimed 8 months, 6 months, 9, 12 months, whatever, after, like, I mean, great, except nobody's watching these live streams that much behind the times. So, yay, you. Excuse me. I'm thinking about that because I was just singing a song, and I was like, oh no, don't claim that too. Oh, it looks like Chris is out. Good night, Chris. Sleep well. Drive safe. I just described Russell's morning's pretty well, which is great. I'm not jealous at all. Although there's a quick hike with the dogs before you put the coffee on. Nice. I love it. Destiny says, good night, enjoy the loons. And Country Boy says, enjoy the loons. And then Country Boy says, stop copying me before I even hit send. And then Destiny's laughing, but in a cruel way, right? Ha ha. Take that. Am I reading that right? I think I am. I think I'm right. There's no other way to read that. Except just an innocent LOL. And I choose not to believe that because I know something about Destiny, and that's that she is funny. Howdy, Steve. Only 1 month till your birthday, Mr. Grounds. July 10th? Man, are you on the ball or what, Destiny? Priest, she says you are correct. Peanut trucker's out. All right. Drive safe. Have a good time in San Francisco. If you're going to San Francisco. More whiskey. Mm. Mm. I wish this was smell-o-vision, guys. I'd be like, smell that. Sorry. We're only at 22:31. Destiny says, "Did I miss the diff between the Muskoka and the Adirondack chairs?" No, nobody picked up on it. Nobody said anything. There are several differences. Seat height compared to the bottom of the feet and all that, but the most noticeable difference is that the Muskoka chair, the back is curved, whereas in the Adirondack chair, it's flat. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like the slats, right? They look very similar, right? They're both slat back, but on the Muskoka chair, it curves, whereas on the Adirondack chair, it's flat. He said, double checking to make sure he didn't have that backwards. Because like a lot of marketing departments don't get that straight at all. Yeah. So the Adirondack chair is about 2 inches higher than the Muskoka chair, making it better for taller individuals. Well, I'm not a tall individual, okay? Um, the armrests of the Adirondack chair are 2 inches wider, and the backrest of the Adirondack chair is typically flat with a fan-shaped design consisting of slats, whereas the Muskoka chair is lower with the seat closer to the ground, making it ideal for people with low sitting postures or children. The backrest of the Muskoka chair often has a slightly more rounded, curved yoke shape, which some may find more comfortable for cradling the head, which is true. The seat of the Adirondack chair is slightly more contoured compared to the Adirondack chair. Yes, I'd forgotten about that. The Muskoka chair, the seat usually sort of does this kind of, there's like a this kind of thing. Whereas on the Adirondack chair, it's a lot more non-contoured. Country Boy says, "I think you read that right. That's the LOL. That's the Destiny LOL. I think, right? Do I have that right? I think I have that right. Oh, come on, it's my live stream. Of course, I'm right." I've never heard of a Laurentian chair, so excuse me. I think Destiny is about to throw my Canadiana foo under a bus. Oh no, are you just talking about the Adirondack Chair Company? Because I know them. They make the Muskoka chairs that you can buy at Costco. In fact, my mother-in-law has. Wait. These are a lot more expensive. So nice though. I would not spend $7.79 on a Muskoka chair, even if it is folding. Handcrafted in North America since 1955. So one thing I will say is that whenever you see crafted in North America, that most often means made in Canada, but they're trying to tap into the made in America kind of market. Just let me take a look. Best Adirondack Chair Company. Yeah, the first address is Kemptville, Ontario. The second address is also Kemptville, Ontario. Yeah. Destiny, I didn't answer your question at all. I got completely mixed up. Just let me look up Laurentian chair. I don't see it. I do not see it, Destiny. But now I'm going to design one, and it will be very similar to the Muskoka chair. Just taller, more mountainous. By the way, to go back to my daydreaming about a cabin, there's always that like a cat and a dog involved in this, or like two dogs or something. I love the idea of just sitting there next to the fire with a cat on your lap, reading a book, having a whiskey or a tea or whatever, dog at your feet. There's a companionship that a dog, and Russell knows all about this, and so does David for sure. There's a companionship that comes from a dog that nothing else ever is going to beat. Nothing is going to beat the companionship from a dog. Cats are a second place on that. Very different, right? They're a lot more standoffish, but you know, when they come and lie on your lap or they come to lie with you or whatever, there's still a real sort of moment there. I love the warmth of a cat lying in my lap for sure. Raspberry Rock says it needs to be an indoor cat. Yeah, I think you're right. I would either have my cat like pretend I've got my off-grid cabin. The cat stays indoors, or I would let it out just but keep it on a leash for two reasons. I don't want it being carried away by foxes or coyotes or something, especially the coyotes we get here, right? The what's the word that they use for them? They're big honking guys. Um, what the hell is the name that they use for the eastern coyote? Because there's coyote and wolf parentage, right? So, what's the word? The eastern coyote is a wild North American canine hybrid with both coyote and wolf parentage. The hybridization likely occurred in the Great Lakes region as western coyotes moved east. It was first noticed as early in the 1930s to 40s and likely originated in the aftermath of the extirpation of the gray wolf and eastern wolf in southeastern Ontario, Labrador, and Quebec. This allowed coyotes to colonize the former wolf ranges and mix with the remnant wolf populations. This hybrid is smaller than the eastern wolf and holds smaller territories, but is larger and holds more extensive home ranges than the typical western coyote. Oh, coy wolf. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't want it being carted off by large predators, but I also don't want it savaging the local bird population, right? So yeah, I agree. It would be an indoor cat, outdoor on a leash on occasion if I'm out there. Carol, Timberwolves are something a little different for sure. Russell says, a couple of deer hides hanging on the walls. Have one behind the wood stove. Need to stretch out. Yeah, I would totally. I have this like as part of my dream. My bed has pelts on it, but I know that that's not realistic because the pelts don't last long, right? Like the fur starts coming out, or the hairs, or whatever. But it's my daydream. Okay, so deal. But yeah, a couple of hides stretching out for sure. Love it. Love it. Excuse me. Why? Country boy made a couple of Muskoka chairs out of Western red cedar for a snooty customer and Whistler. Paid me twice what he could have got them for at retail because they were handmade. Yeah, but I understand that. I would, in any case where I can afford within like a year of saving, I will spend that money for sure to get it handmade rather than punched out of an assembly line somewhere. To me, that's worth it. Sometimes it's very intangible, right? Um, but I would even take something CNC machined in a four-person shop over something mass produced. Do you know what I'm saying? Destiny has an advert. I mean, I don't know what those cost when they paid you. I mean, especially looking at the Adirondack company where, $600 for a Muskoka chair. But yeah, I'm not a big I don't have any Adirondack or Muskoka chairs. It's not a priority for me for my backyard, by any stretch because I like my lawn furniture to be stuff that I can fold up for the winter because I don't have a whole lot of storage space. But the part of me that loves sort of really old school Canadian cliches like canoe, lumber jackets, right? Those plaid, buffalo plaid, uh, you know, loon on a lake, bannock wrapped around a stick over an open fire. You know, that part of me would love to have a couple of Muskoka chairs. Yeah, Destiny, I agree. I love cedar in all its forms, but yeah, Western red is very nice. And the nice thing about cedar is it's very I mean, it'll dent really easily, but it's really good about the elements for sure. Yeah, send me pics. I'd love to see it. If I get pics, I will in fact show them. My phone is in good night mode, so I'll just make sure that I'll see messages if they come in. Stop yawning. My watch is fully charged. Yay. Now I can keep track of my heart rate while I'm sitting here. I got a bedtime reminder. My watch is trying to make sure that I maintain healthy habits. But yes, Destiny, if I get the pics, I'll share them for sure. I'm gonna pour a bit more whiskey. Who else is drinking whiskey? Country Boy is diving into his bourbon tonight. Did you actually dive into the bourbon, or were you just talking smack? What's Russell drinking tonight? Yeah, so I'm trying to bottle down some bottles before I open anything new again. I have a couple of brilliant bottles waiting for me in Calgary. Ah, Christy is taking the week off from booze. Nice. I like that. That's good. That's a nice step. Is it because you're kind of afraid of being on the wrong side of the booze, or are you just sort of doing a cleanse for a week, or what? I do a dry week every quarter, and when I did dry January, man, I dropped many pounds. So I'm definitely doing that again next winter, and I've been drinking a lot less since that, but I'm still heavier than I want to be. Um, just finished your dram, country boy. Yep, that Elijah Craig is nice. Hey, I had a bottle and it's empty, and I cannot buy it anymore. But yeah, was you treated your deer hide so not much fur comes off. Nice. How do you do that? Excuse me. Like Is there a special solution you have to use? Is it something you can buy, or do you have to DIY it? Hey now, hey now, you're an all-star. Stop it. Oh, that drives me crazy. It's nice to know where it comes from, but it still drives me crazy. Drives me crazy. There we go again. I I spend much of my time masking the fact that I'm just nuts. Just to cleanse. It does not bother me to not drink. Nice. Okay. Christy also likes the Elijah Craig. Yeah, it's a terrific bottle for sure. Brain tanned, Russell, or is it veg tanned? Is it okay? You salted it first. Oops. You bought a solution for it. Okay. Yeah. I would love to try tanning a hide. I would not want to try brain tanning because I'm squeamish, but that actually shows. I cut myself shaving yesterday. Fortunately, it was very small. Because as you guys know, as I have mentioned, and you've probably forgotten because there's no way it's important, I shave with a straight razor. So sometimes when I cut myself, it's like hella obvious. But I haven't cut myself in a long time, which is impressive for someone with dyspraxia, let me tell you. Don't cut yourself shaving with a straight razor. This should be sort of, it should be like that, so that I get the full Hearts of Space vocal effect. Welcome to CFNBY. There was too many letters. CNFY, where for tonight, all the way through until 2 in the morning, we will be playing the sounds, all the best of Bay Area, new wave, atmospheric, quiet, late night sounds. Let me just try that again. Welcome to your late night radio. This is your host, Jesse Corbet, also known as Rain Dance Bushcraft. Tonight we will be playing the best of the quietest, of the sweetest, of the spiciest, of the sounds, of the sounds, of the sounds. So sit back, strap in, get a get a martini, because here we go. The thing is, I don't have the voice for radio in that kind of way. I have the face for radio, but I don't have the voice for radio. I have a couple of friends who have a voice for radio like you wouldn't believe, and I'm like, Part of me wants to take diction lessons or speech therapy or something so that I enunciate better. As I do notice when I'm watching my videos on occasion, either my TikToks or my shorts or my videos or my videos or my shorts or my TikToks, that's like I didn't enunciate that all that well. So I'm wondering if like a session or two with someone who's an expert in the field would solve me of my. Russell wants to know more about our cabin, solar generator, or you just raw dogging it. So, okay, here's what I would do, because Russell asked a question that is, I have thought about this cabin so much, and I love talking about it, but I love dreaming about it more. It's log, but I would be willing to do like a stick frame, kind of like yours. Why did I do that? Why do I always do that? I have a dream and then I always step it back. Like I have always like when I bought the mountain bike that is the one I see as an element of my persona. I saw the one I really wanted and then I bought the version below it. and everything from the computer that this screen is attached to not a lot of stuff around here, but like to my musical interface box. I've always bought the one right below the one I really wanted. And I was just doing that with my dream. It's a fucking dream, Jess. For God's sakes, it's a log cabin. Okay? It's a log cabin. But it no longer has like a log roof. Like, it's no longer the full on Dick Prenneke cabin. Now it's got a metal roof with solar on it because I'm very into solar. It has a small wind, like one of those helix um, aeolian. What the hell are they called? Wind turbines on it. Um, because why not, right? Um, I have a generator. I never used to have a generator in my dream, but I was talking to you, Russell, and David, like how you guys were talking about having generators hooked up to sort of top it up, or when it's been really cloudy lately. So now there is a generator attached to it. That never used to be, but um, for heating, it's just the wood stove. And again, before I started talking to you guys, and like, it was always a fireplace because I was gonna be like thorough, but I do like the idea of the wood stove better. My hunt camp, I'm glad it was a wood stove rather than a fireplace. You know, um, wall full of books. I often think about putting would it be cool to have a very small like water turbine thing as well? All goes to the same battery pack, right? Or the same. I would have to talk to someone who knows these things better to come up with an electrical system. There are more cellular or satellite communications companies coming online. There's a Canadian one that should be online within a few years. There's an Italian one that's currently taking a chunk out of Elon's ass in Europe. It's an Italian-French thing, but the government of Italy, or several government agencies in Italy, have canceled their whatever Elon's company is called to go with that one. So the idea of having solar internet is great to me. I know it's not as fast, but I want to not be connected to a grid. So it has to be something satellite or cell based, right? Um, I would like there to be like a cold room under the cabin, like accessible from outside, probably. So that just going into winter, I can buy a huge bag of potatoes, a huge bag of carrots, onions, and just store them over the winter. Right? They're not going to freeze in a cold room. They might freeze in a cold room under an off-grid cabin. I choose to believe that they will not, because it would be dug below the frost line. I don't really know what I'm talking about, so I'm just pulling a bunch of crap out of the ether here, but it would be nice to have a cold room, or maybe the cold room is something that you access from a hatch inside the cabin, right? That might actually be better. Oh, I know they won't freeze below the frost line, Russell, but the frost line is 4 feet down here, you know? Um, Country Boy says that as long as I can harvest gut and skin a deer, then brain tanning isn't any more gross. I've skinned a couple. I've helped gut a couple, but I have never loved the gutting. I don't like the smell; it makes me a little bit. I loathe the look, but I have done it. Um, Country Boy says, as long as I have cell signal and a way to charge a phone, I can handle raw dogging it. I have to be able to talk to my kids. I would want the cooking range to be wood burning. When I could remember the name of one of the companies that I believe Craig Roos told me about, I showed it to you guys. But they just look like these really old ovens that you would see in like a Mennonite house. I love that idea. You know, you get up in the morning, you stoke that thing up, and you just keep it on a low grade burn all day. And then when it comes time for supper, if you're using the oven or something, you just stoke that thing up high and then let it get to ember. Or, just I love it. I Part of me would also like to have something like an outdoor oven like the guys at Townsend's on the Townsend's channel have, or like an outdoor pizza oven or something. Um, Russell wishes his cabin had a basement. I think a lot of guys who built a cabin, whoops, yes, they won't freeze below the frost line for sure. Um, Country Boy says, just buy some dynamite and you can put that basement in. I would love to see the state of that cabin after he tried dynamite. Russell says, in fact, yeah, sure, I'll just move my cabin for a few days, do some blasting, then move it back. To which Country Boy replies, Russell, what else you got to do? Give her. The idea of poor Russell trying to give her and get that cabin shifted like 30 meters or whatever is hilarious and yet unbelievable. I would like, in my dream cabin, I would like as many windows as are practical without weakening the structure. And this is why I sort of say maybe a stick built cabin, because you can put so many more windows in. I like light. I like being able to look outside and see branches and leaves no matter where I look. I love cabins with big windows. And I feel that you don't have the same freedom with a log built cabin as you do with a stick built for that. Russell can move the cabin piece by piece. Apparently, I can put a shift load of windows in without weakening the structure. That's good to know. I was afraid of I guess because you're nailing window frames, then you're not afraid of logs rolling out or anything. And a grandfather clock for the cabin. Sure, why not? And a chalkboard in the corner, a blackboard that I can write shopping lists on because I'm going to town on Thursday or something. Because here's the thing, if I don't write it down, it gets forgotten, right? I mean, that's why this brain book goes with me wherever I go, period. Like for today, carpet cleaner stuff downstairs because it was carpet cleaner stuff that had to go downstairs in the basement. Exercise bike, which I didn't get to. Laundry, which is not quite finished yet. Send Cody her music sheets, which I did. Get Clem, which I did. Find supper, which I quasi did. And then Cody's concert. Right? Usually on a Tuesday. Used to be usually on a Tuesday. It hasn't been for weeks and weeks. I would have an icon on the Tuesday that meant live stream, like on this one here. Tuesday the 28th, little live stream icon. I'm so tired of my sinuses doing this. But yeah, I have to write it down or it gets forgotten completely, you know? Country Boy says, if you know how headers and point load work, your entire cabin can be glass. So I've seen some cabins where an entire wall is glass. I think, wow, that is hot. That is sexy. Wait, that is hot. In the summer sun, that's really hot. So, I mean, I love big windows, but not quite to that extent. Mm. It would be so nice in the winter, though. Like you wake up and you look outside and there's this landscape, this unbroken landscape because the whole wall is glass. But yeah, like if you got load bearing structures not on that wall, why not, right? Destiny's asking is the cabin in the shade or in sunlight or a combo? I'm gonna say combo. In my head, there are trees planted near it, but at the same spacing as you get in a house like this one, right? Because the spacing of the trees on all these properties on this street are done with like optimum windbreak being considered. Not too close to make the light in the house dark all the time and depressing. Not far enough that there's no windbreak element. So I would have trees. What I would want is mostly evergreens, maybe evergreens, birches, some aspens if I can make them get along with everything else. Maybe have some hemlocks. Yeah, a couple of hemlocks. That'd be ideal. I love the evergreens. I, here's the thing though, that's purely on an aesthetic level. On a practicality, I want a whole bunch of maples, like standing deadwood maples, right? Or like a couple of oak that are done. Maybe some beech. I think beech is. I'm just checking the time. It's after 11. Um, Hold on. Oh, Country Boy is saying to what he said before that. I'm not saying it's practical. It just that it can be done. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, well, I guess I don't want a whole bunch of dead maples, especially because I don't want them to fall. But like, I want maples because of the quality of the firewood from a maple is practically unbeatable. You know. I mean, yeah, they're very pretty, but they're not my favorite plant or tree. I don't know about chickens, Russell. What do you think? Because like, I'd be afraid of my chickens being taken away by foxes and stuff. Destiny likes the facing north idea of Russ's cabin. Also like to have a good cross breeze with the windows open. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I would probably spend so much time stressing over which direction the cabin faces. But yeah, absolutely. You have to pay attention to that for sure. You want a south facing roof for like solar panels. You want, there's all kinds of stuff to think about. But it is now after 11, and clearly my sinus rinse steroid has worn off. So I'm going to go and deal with that. Hold on. Russell says, personally, I think you can be careful with dependents. Every time you want to leave the cabin for more than a day, you got to get someone to look after them. Yeah, that's true. For sure. Absolutely. So on that very good comment, I hope everyone has a great week. I hope to see everyone on Tuesday. I hope everyone has a good. How do I end that? Have a great night and a good week between now and next time. So everybody, please stay sane, stay healthy, stay safe, and be kind to one another. Good night, people.